right, is officially devlog number one for the game I'm building. I'm gonna call it All You Do Is Level Up or something. I don't know. It's gonna essentially be like an incremental game, sort of. Just just because I say sort of because I hate the incremental part of incremental games. I like seeing the numbers go up. I don't like coming back a trillionaire. I hate that. In terms of inspiration, right? My inspiration is RuneScape for sure, Melville Idol, um, all those cozy games. Is it gonna be perfect? No, but I'm gonna do my absolute best. So, start things off. I had to switch engines. I was using Godot and I realized I hate Godot's editor. The user experience is terrible. It might not be for you, but I feel like Godot is not intuitive in terms of an editor. I feel it's baggage, you know. Can it be done? Yeah. Can you learn it? Yeah. But I hated having to constantly look up a video or look up a mapping just to figure out how to do something so simple and not even complicated. Like I just felt like the editor, the user experience was like chain. I'll definitely make a video. But I mean, yeah, like in Godot, one thing you have to understand is that everything is a scene and everything is a node, and then everything's built on a node. But bro, the UI setting the anchors for the GUI, oh my god, it's terrible. This the one thing I like about the default engine at least, um, is like for example here you have a collection. What is a collection? It's a collection of everything that makes up that folder. I don't know. I'm learning this as I go. But like for example, my player, right? The player consists. I guess you can't see it just because my face is covering. What if I go like here? Yeah. So this is the collection that makes up a player. The player is made up of a game object, and in a game object, you could put a little collision object, and then a sprite. Um, I mean it's all so similar, right? Well, Godot. I mean, I'm gonna try because I've been messing around with Godot for like longer than this. But when in Godot, when I think about this, I'm thinking you created. I don't know, man. They all have the word 2D in them. It's so annoying. You create a node 2D, add an area 2D, shape 2D, or I don't even know, man. It kind of blends all together. There's not a lot of distinction. But the other thing I really like to do is that, for example, right here I named it player, right? The cool thing is that I personally also really liked is maybe if it's an enemy. If I click here, you see how this is like the ID and stuff. The cool thing is you can just you put a little like whatever this symbol is, and then whatever you named it, and then it finds it. In Godot, you have to like take whatever the scene is, and then like drag and drop it into your scene. It's like ew. But the other cool thing is that I mean, for now, since I'm a beginner, this is cool. It comes with all this um like presets, so it helps me like learn everything. The other cool thing I liked was the game project here. If you want to just do some quick keybind in Godot, I do that, and you have to go through the whole settings menu, which is a eyesore. Um, the other cool thing is like for example, right? The scripts are also split up. You know, there's a regular script, right? But then there's a GUI script if you want to script your GUI. Um, the next thing is there's also like a editor script, which is cool. Oh, what if you want to spawn a bunch of enemies in one location, right? Boom, you just build a. It's somewhere here, right? Well, what are you? It's somewhere. Oh, it's. Oh, GUI script is somewhere. I don't know. It's late at night. Whatever. So yeah, it's a lot simpler. You know, even the tile map is a lot simpler. With way simpler. Instead of like a tile map layer. But yeah. So in terms of what have I done? I haven't done much, man. first of all, I was really trying to conceptualize what I even want to build, right? I have started a bunch of stuff, not completed much of anything. If anything, it's kind of like I've built the same thing over and over again. Um, and then I stress test AI with AI, and then everything breaks, and then I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. But one of the first things I definitely decided to do was I switched. I said I'm not gonna do no data. I mean, no. I said I'm not gonna build this game using like object oriented object oriented programming, as in like for example, right now the player script does not have anything. Um, but with the object oriented programming, the little health bar exists inside this guy, and then the enemy, right, has his own health bar. The damage is assigned into the player and stuff like that. And I said, hell no, I am doing none of that. I can't track any of that shit. That's another thing I realized with like larger applications. I can't track shit. It gets too confusing for me. I don't understand why object oriented programming is the norm. I sort of realize that's why I also hate tutorials. I don't like object oriented programming at all. I don't know. I don't like that type of programming. Like maybe if the situation calls for it and it makes absolute sense, yeah. But I prefer so that's kind of the big issue. So I prefer a um like a data oriented design, or like a entity component system. So what but I don't even know that shit, right? Because I got into programming from like vibe coding and stuff like that. And the thing with vibe coding is there's like these app builders like Bolt.new, Replit, V0, whatever. All these app builders are trying to get, you know, regular people's attention to make apps and stuff like that. And the thing is, it's not, that is like selling them a dream, bro. It's, if anything, it's a little ass. Like, yeah, there's great, capabilities with AI, but you actually have to know. It's like saying, yo, it's like telling AI, if we have like, AI physical robots, you say, build a house, build me a kitchen. You're gonna get shit, bro. I'm gonna be honest. You're gonna have to know something. Like, you're gonna say, build me a kitchen, and then you get, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know any. Okay, at least I know this. You say, build me a house, right? You live in Canada, you live in Middle America, and you have a Mediterranean. It's a snowy area, and and there's cabins, and the AI says, "I got you." It builds you a Mediterranean for some reason. It's like, and then you're like shocked, and that's kind of what happens if you just say, "Build me this." You just get whatever you get, bro. You get, So yeah, so that's kind of the issue with AI. You do have to learn something, you have to direct it. You may not be the code monkey, but you still have to be the director, or the composer in like a opera. You still have to lead the way, you still have to be the leader. You can't let the AI boss you around and tell you how it's done. You got to do it. Otherwise, you're gonna, I mean, be shocked with what you get, because it's not going to be what you had in mind in your head. You have to have the vocabulary to take what's in here and go in here. So for me, one of the two things I said, I also hate the naming conventions too, man. For now, I have to fix this. This is a work in progress. What I decided to do was, honestly, I just told AI, because the thing is, this is also a game, and I do want to learn how to build games, but I also want to use AI. I just told it, yo, whatever it was gonna do on its own, I just said, hey, break it down, Feynman method, and make a little guide for me, and then I just been following the instructions. That's what I would have done anyways with a YouTube video. Um, with this, I'm a little bit more hands on, but so one thing I said is things have to be data oriented. I'm building my game systems oriented, just because I did not like the object oriented. So what does that mean? So one of the first things we did was we created this registries, right? So I mean, I'm starting off with this. No, nothing. It's gonna be some boring stuff, but it's gonna help me. So the registry is just gonna describe, um, data, right? These are just like events that it's gonna happen in the game. This is a tag, you know, different tags like dead, the player, in terms of like entities, stunned, invulnerable. Because I want to have a cool systems, not cool mechanics. People talk about mechanics. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about mechanics. That's boring. Anybody could do anything with mechanics. I want interesting systems in my games. Um, but I also have to keep it simple. Then the other thing is I created a world state folder, right? So the world state folder, this one is from my factory, to produce the actual entity. Real talk, this line right here, right? Um, Local template equals required data content and then dot dot template name. I had issues with this. Why? Because if I go into my right here data content, right? This is like a Lua module. I know I got it to work with JSON, but I was trying to do it with the Lua module. I don't know. I was just following the guide I made, and so the reason why this line was giving me so much issue, where are you? Right here, is because this is dynamic, right? I don't know. This was just off like a forum post that I got an answer. But basically, if it's dynamic and changing, you know, this engine does not um utilize it. So I had to go into my main script and then so what I had to do was create a content loader, right? So it's gonna load the content. Where are you? So I'm getting used to my folders. Yeah. So I created a content. This is where I'm gonna put all the things that are all the Lua modules that are required. So as for why I'm using Lua modules, I have no idea. I could use Lua modules or JSON, but I'm gonna try the Lua modules. And so I'm gonna have to put all my whatever gets spawned, right? So I don't even know I'm if whatever, because this is gonna change, right? I don't know what else I'm gonna use this content loader for. We'll figure it out. But yeah, but I got it to work, and I got it correct. So this is the other reason why I have been liking the systems approach is because I get to do little tests, and I get to test that they work, and I move forward. And also I build equity. I think that's kind of the other reason why I'm doing this is I need to build, you know, game dev equity. What do I mean by that? Well, you know, I I appreciate while I appreciate the tutorial for getting me used to the engine itself. In terms of building, I mean, first of all, there's not a lot of resources, but also only I know what I really want. And for me, I'm gonna build systems that I can just reuse in other games, right? The systems are nice and neutral for now, and I really want them to grow. So what I'm really trying to build is like a because that's also what happens. Like these, I'm really inspired by games like Kenshi or Dwarf Fortress. Well, I've never played it. I only have this Mac, laptop, and things are super expensive now. I used to have a PC, but that shit dead, and I can't, bro. GPUs are like crazy expensive now, right? RAM is crazy expensive, so there's nothing I can do about that. Anyways, yeah. So I'm just trying to really get my systems. I'm really trying to get my systems on point because it's going to make testing games a lot quicker and a lot easier. I tried using pre-made templates, but then I go into those files and I said, what the fuck is this? I don't have enough knowledge. That's one thing I would say is, yeah, templates are cool and all if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, don't use templates. Don't even bother. You're not going to make sense of it. And I would definitely say the most important thing is just doing and figuring it out. I guess the last thing I would say is because I also stress test the AI to see what I can and can't do. And um, the one thing I would have to say is the one thing I'm really gonna get into the habit of is just quickly, the moment I notice it's looping, I'm coming in. As in terms for the AI though, you can't. You have to be really specific, but I would also say just know, like at least in terms of like if you're using a game engine, it's different if you're using like pure editor like VS Code and you're building apps. I would say don't even you're gonna have to like verify every single thing, because one of the issues I notice is that I might ask for help with a script, but then it's changing something in the editor and then it causes corruptions. So after that happened like once, twice, three times, or whatever, I said, okay, no auto, yes. I have to approve every single thing, because I know even if I prompt it, especially Gemini will do whatever it wants to do, and it'll do stuff that I didn't ask for. I'll explicitly say something, because the thing is with the AI, you know, I think it's way better to keep things in scope, because um because the other thing I've been doing is just getting resources, man. I don't trust a lot of it. Like I trust it, but I also don't trust it. By that I mean, if because like I said, I'm learning this as I go. I'm not an expert, um, but I'm trying to do my best to understand. Because remember, we have AI now. Might as well use it, but not. But use it in a way that empowers you, not in a way of like weakness. You still have to feel like the captain of the ship. You know what I mean? Like if you are using AI, you must feel like the captain of the ship at all times. The moment you feel like you're not the captain of the ship, um, pedal back, read something. You must feel like the captain of the ship at all times. That's one thing I have made sure of and acknowledge. So some people can hate me. I don't care. I will do what I want and I will get what I need to done. But yeah, and I would also say, hey, there's many different ways and approaches for building architecture and stuff like that. So OOP is not the only way, you know. There's that's why what's that thing called? I tried reading a little bit. I have to get back into it. Is the game programming patterns, you know? Only you know what you need, you know. And if you can figure out what type of programming patterns you're gonna use, it makes it a lot easier to communicate. Because the thing is, what we're making a game, the scripting is just a small part of it, you know. Scripting is a small part of it. There's so many different layers, man. Like the art layer, hell, even designing the game loop, the point of the game. You know, it's like it's such a large job spanning so many different directions. And I mean, it is what it is, though. And then another thing I've seen in a lot of videos is that people tend to they tend to add on, and I'm like, yeah, I totally understand that, like the scope creep, right? So I don't know. I would say to each their own. I'm honestly, another thing I'm trying to build on the side while I still have some time is to build a tool to help me, right, design my games faster. What am I planning? I don't know. I have to learn this thing called how to use this React Flow. But basically, I just kind of want to like diagram my game a little bit. I looked into some other stuff, but I know how my brain works, and I mean, I would definitely say Gemini is really great for UI for the most part, and Gemini is, I say, pretty great for getting things like just the UI, and then Cloud is great for just setting things up. To be honest, or just as a fixer. But yeah, I chatted a bit, but yeah, that's currently the state of the game. It's taking way longer than I expected. It's a lot challenging. It's a lot of like detective work, to be honest, and reading. Cause I mean, I don't know, like it was tough to figure out what was even wrong. You know what I mean? And it was just cause this thing was like dynamic, and I had to put, you know, required and create this content loader. But that's it. That's the current state of the game. Tomorrow, right? Because I do have a implementation guide, right? I guess we are gonna spawn the player. Yeah, so this is what I got. I asked um Claude to build for me, to just walk me through stuff, and then I read through it, and and then I do a test script to see if it works. And yeah, so tomorrow I'm gonna spawn the player. So if I'm lucky and I actually got it to work, the player will spawn. Because the thing is also my mentality with making it. Listen, son. Some people have this. They want to design something cool, beauty, narrative. I don't know. I want to build a spreadsheet, man. I want to build like a nice spreadsheet, an interactive spreadsheet or something. Who knows, man? I definitely want to take a system approach, and I want it to scale and grow. But for my first game, I want to just level up in as many different layers. I don't even know if there's going to be a point to my game. All I know is it's going to be a game you play like you have another tab open or you're doing something else. It's not going to be a you play this all the time game solo. No, you play this and do something else type of game. That's what I'm envisioning. Price point, I don't even know, man. We'll see. I'm thinking $5 to $10, just because it's my first game and it might be pretty jank, you know. But I do think it's important to just finish a game, yo. So that's gonna be my version of a small game. Um, but that's it for today. It took a lot of willpower to record and post this, but we did it. Bye.